multi-exclusive dimensional being Kyle with another exclusive. So of course, as we know now, today is Friday, which is basically love and appreciation. Venus. Today, moon is in Venus. And you know, things gonna take time for it to regenerate, for me. And the moon is gonna be here for 2 days. So we need to act, basically we need to react and respond to that nature. And this is dealing with the feelings and emotions. And of course, the sun is still in Leo, so this is a gift for me. It's a gift to utilize your self-expression, your romance, and cleanse that on with your expressions and shit. But you got to be balanced in both ways. For me, it's one thing when the sun is gonna basically be showing this center stage. The moon gonna be like, okay, I need balance too. I need it so my privability and basically self-expression as well. So you know you got to share the cookie. For me, you can't have one without the other. Know what I'm saying? So these are the energies that we're gonna be basically carrying out. So laziness is not key. You need to be able to get up off your ass. I don't care how hard it is right now. For me, just new moon just took shape and form. So things gonna take a while for the progress. But if you being stable and consistent and practical, things is gonna basically grant you a fortune. For me, and the universe need to see you trying. Cause if you ain't trying, then something ain't right. For me, you need to get right with yourself. For me, and of course, when I be telling y'all, first thing you do when you wake up, you meditate. For me, especially with the new moons too, because when the new moon play takes shape and form, if you don't meditate, you don't have clarity. What you're doing is basically adding weight to your light body, to your mind, your body, and your soul, your spirit, your soul, and your body. Now these are new spirits coming in, and they are inhabiting shit. So when they add weight on you, you stale, you fragment. For me, of course, you're gonna start worrying. Of course, you're gonna be carrying a whole lot of shit on you, but you need to replenish and get the shit off of you. For me, you need to cleanse that shit out. And of course, what I tell you, the moon is how you do it, which is your inner. So basically, that's dealing with feelings and emotions. Now, but basically, that's got to be cleared, and that's basically got to be replenished. So when you go within, like I say, if you a fire sign, but you know all fire signs is basically dealing with Aries, that's dealing with Leo, and of course Sagittarius. You need to be by the water. You need to go within yourself. Feel me? You need to be by the water and basically utilize that water to put out the fire. Feel me? Because too much heat can get chaotic and shit. You don't want the temperatures to be too high. For me, you want to come down, and basically rejuvenate. For me, you want to get that fresh water within you. Feel me? So basically, also when you go water sign, this is dealing with Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. So basically, what you need to do for the water don't get too cold and out of control and shit, too deep. What you want to do is you want to basically find fire, get some candles, light that up. For me, play some music, play some 432 hertz so it can balance that water. For me, this way the water won't get too crazy. The water won't be too too sensitive, too deep. For me, you don't want that. You don't want that to basically get out of line. So what you need to do, you need to be by the fire. And of course, if you're an air sign, air moon, what you need to basically do is go outside, put the fan on, put the AC on. For me, focus on the breath. For me, that's the life of the party. Go outside, get some fresh air. Feel me? Because when you clog up the air and shit, things, if air needed space. Feel me? If air don't get its space, it don't get a chance to breathe. Come up, and get out. And if it gets too suffocated, things can get very crazy and shit. So that's dealing with also thinking the communication. So of course you need to focus on the breath. Feel me? Get a breath of fresh air so you can basically have more clarity. Feel me? And of course when we dealing with the earth elements, which is the earth sign, which is Capricorn. Oh yeah, the air signs we dealing with Aquarius. We dealing with Pisces. I mean, not Aquarius. What the fuck am I talking about? We dealing with Aquarius. We dealing with Libras, and we dealing with Gemini. So basically, that's the air element when you dealing with that with your moon sign. And of course, most importantly, when we talking about the earth signs, what we need to basically be focusing on, and this is our moon sign, our new moon spectrum. Basically, what we need to basically be doing is focusing on earth, practicality, rocks, water. Because you know water also play with that feminine side. That's dealing with the water too. So basically with the earth, basically it need rejuvenation. So need structure. So get you some crystals. Be by the rocks. Be by ground yourself. For me, put your feet in the soil. Walk on the grass and shit. For me, that's stability right there. That's structure right there. So now let's get into these energies and shit. Because you already know the sun is in Leo. So basically that's dealing with our self-expressions, and that's dealing with the way we are creative and our romance issues and shit. Basically that's what we need to be expressing. We need to be the center stage and shit. We don't need to be like Mega the Stallion and shit getting shot in the leg type shit. or you being the man shooting your chick in the leg. We don't need to be doing that shit. Also, we got Moon and Libra, so that's basically dealing with relationships. That's dealing with collaborations. And that's dealing with balance and shit. So you're gonna feel the need to react and respond to your mate. Make sure they on good terms. Make sure y'all on good terms. Make sure y'all playing good seeds with this new moon and shit. For me, it's gonna be a lot of downfalls and difficulties, but for me, the ball gonna start getting rolling as far as y'all basically being consistent and stable. Also, when we got Mercury Virgo, which basically came in within these couple of days, which stays in there for a couple of weeks, and so Mercury is dealing with thinking and communication. So basically, when Mercury is in Virgo, that's dealing with analyzation, analyzing the details, be more clear for me. Also, overthinking too, and coming up with new concepts and ideas, and basically communication and being organized and practical. For me, state stability. So of course, we're gonna feel the need to basically doing this on a daily routine. Make sure your ass meditate, because you can get anxiety. It can fuck around and hit you, depending on how much shit is on your mind too. You get a migraine type shit. You don't want that shit. Also, we got Mars and Aries, so that's basically dealing with self-expression, energy, and having a drive and a commitment. So basically, we need to be utilizing this with our passions and shit. Also, we got Jupiter and Capricorn, so that's basically dealing with spiritual growth. Also, restrictions and warfare can play a shape and form into this aspect too, depending on if you let these restrictions and these motherfuckers get too far with how they utilizing this fake ass virus. You don't want that to take shape and form. So you got to be very aware about that shit. Also, we got Saturn and Capricorn, so that's basically dealing with responsibilities, authority, and control. So of course, that's basically dealing with our mother and our father. But don't let these motherfuckers on the news be your mother and your father. I don't give a fuck what age you is. Feel me? Even children out here is smart enough to know what the fuck going on out here. Though, so don't be taking advantage of it in no way, shape, or form. Also, we got Uranus and Taurus, so this basically dealing with our own uniqueness, our own practical natures, and being more grounded. The way we come up with our own constructions, our own way of coming up with materialistic things, our being objective and shit, open up our own business and not relying on these motherfuckers no more. Because basically, at the end of the day, you got yourself. You don't got these motherfuckers. Feel me? You got yourself. And of course, the more time and effort you put into yourself, the more you're going to get out of it too. So you got to be consistent. You got to be practical. And you got to be stable. Also, we got Neptune and Pisces. So this basically dealing with spiritual natures and growth, also which can lead to illusions, especially if you ain't grounded and shit. So it's one thing to be in your imagination and your mind all day and shit. But when we dealing with that, we also gonna be feeling the need to basically express our spirituality towards other people, places, and things, and basically get into those natures. Also, when we got Pluto and Capricorn, this is basically dealing with hidden trauma and obstacles. So basically, anything that was deeply hidden and shit can be revealed at this point too, for me, because when it's Pluto and Capricorn, this is basically death, transformation, rebirth, and new structure, and the taking down of the taking down of the old and building up to the new. So it's gonna be a whole lot of changes going on and shit. So make sure you utilizing your Pluto to change shit in your way, and not letting nobody outside of you do that shit. Because when you allow somebody to take over your power and take over your control and shit, that fucking Pluto is gonna come and destroy your whole fucking shit to the point your ass might die. So you don't want to be doing that shit. You want to make sure you're taking control and power and control over what you need to be taking power and control of, and not letting Pluto do that shit. Because when Pluto do that shit, Pluto is gonna don't give a fuck. That's your mother right there. She gonna kill everything and say, and she basically dependent. So also, you don't want to play around with her, man. She's very powerful too. I'm saying, not saying she's powerful as in be afraid, but you got that power too. But don't let her fuck around, take your power, and to the point you won't have shit to be stable and have structure on. Feel me? You won't have that shit. You gotta start all over. Gotta end up one of these bugs that's crawling by my feet. Feel me? That goes to me and whoever that's not taking shit serious. Also, when we got North Node and Gemini, that's basically dealing with spiritual ascension, and also healing and shit. So being more practical and shit, and being more stable, and basically being more open to a whole lot of shit, but don't basically be too open to too much shit. For me, learn how to have your own concept and ways of looking at things and basically apprehending with them. Also, the fuck. Also, we got Also, we now let's get into today's energies. Also, we got the fuck is that? We got the moon square Mars, I believe. Yeah, we got the moon opposing the Chiron. So basically, the moon is dealing with self-awareness, That's also dealing with inner awareness, private home matters and shit. So private healing and trauma can basically come up to play, especially like dealing with home issues and shit, circumstance situations of deep feelings and emotions that we need to basically take shape and form, dealing with that aspect, because you know this thing can basically haunt you or take you out of part. So you want to basically be consistent on that and don't let that be the reason. Feel me? Also, we got Moon square Saturn. So this basically dealing with learn. We all need to basically learn how to utilize our self emotions and also our self discipline and basically grounding things and basically getting right spiritually, internally and externally. So basically, we need to be consistent on this and learn how to utilize this in our efforts. So and don't let this overtake us too. So the guilt and the hidden trauma is another aspect that we need to basically learn and get over, or it can bother us in ways and shapes and forms. Also, we got Jupiter sextile Neptune, so this is basically being open, creativity, self imagination, also spirituality. Feel me? This is basically a sextile, so we got the opportunities to basically ground ourselves, also be open and have expansion and growth when we dealing with spirituality. And of course, we can also link up with people, places, and things that's looking to grow and have abundance and shit, and having business oriental deals and shit. So this way, we can see other people, places, and things that's relating on our terms and condition, and we're not basically out here being lost and thinking we just want to do this shit, and other people is not linking up to us as far as what we want to basically utilize this shit for. So it's a good time to basically take advantage of these energies and shit, because you know there's a new moon, so a whole lot of shit is gonna be taking time for it to basically take structure in your life. And it's also dealing with the things in generosity, or you're just dealing with personal generosity, depending on how we utilize these aspects. Also, we got the moon. Damn, I went too far. Saturn conjunct. Well, we also got Saturn conjunct Pluto. So this basically dealing with self structure and putting up the effort and what we utilize. So basically, we got the power and control dealing with self discipline, and the power and control to basically eliminate any hidden traumas and shit, or any guilt. Now is the time to do that, or Pluto gonna basically bring that to the surface, and it can kill you and harm you. Also, we got Sun trine Uranus. So basically, that's a gift right there to act in our own uniqueness and self-expression, and basically think outside of the box and basically add our commitment and what we basically want to bring to the utmost scale on center stage. So how you doing? And basically, don't be too stubborn with this part, with this shit. For me, even if people coming up to you, telling you what you need to basically do and take shape and form, this ain't the time to be lazy. It's the time to basically have focus and be consistent. Also, we got the moon square Venus. So this basically dealing with emotional private matters right now and shit, relationship issues and finding balance and shit. So you're gonna feel the need to basically, should we be with this person, or is this person gonna reach my utmost requirements as far as that? But we need to basically look at the whole spectrum of the overall spectrum for me, because we can't get lost into our desires and shit. For me, this person don't match your frequency, vibration, energy, then they should not be in your life. Period. So we need to basically take that into consideration, and we gotta learn through these circumstance situations. This way it won't become a burden. Feel me? Because one thing we're gonna stick with our guns and stick what we best know. But if somebody else not resonating with that and their way of doing it and their own uniqueness and shit, and they just basically trying to attach to your guns the way you do things and shit, and they don't basically meet you down that road, then things can get a lot of out of hand and shit. You don't want that to basically take shape and form. Also, we got the moon is in trine with Saturn, so that's basically dealing with matureness, extra responsibilities that we might be taking shape and form into our private matters and shit, or just basically taking responsibilities of being out there, and just you might just feel the need to work extra hours for somebody and shit just because they ass not coming to work, and that's something that you normally may do and may not do, or you might just feel the need to basically come up with your heart and have nurturing and caring for other people, places, and things. And you might come to work late and they might excuse you type shit. So these are the natures and energies that it's gonna take shape and form. Also, Mercury trine Mars. So thinking the way we think and communicate is basically a gift right here with the way we put our thoughts and expressions and things into action. So of course, for me, we're not gonna be acting impulsively. For me, you might feel the need to basically have intercourse with your girl. You might say, oh, you haven't taken a pill for a couple of days, so I think we should basically wrap it up. Then we can have sex type shit. Those are the spectrums that can basically outplay into this day to day process. Also, this fucking paper keep fucking flying. What the fuck? Alright, so look, Mercury trine Uranus. So basically the way we think and communicate. Whoa, I went too far. Mercury trine Uranus. So basically that's thinking the communication, our own uniqueness, and we're gonna be out here thinking outside of the box. So we might be coming up with ideas and concepts that may not pretty much be a favor to other people, places, and things, but in our own uniqueness, our own way of thinking and coming up with ideas is basically this is a charm right here. So for me, come up with new ideas and basically, of course, meditate. Because when you don't meditate, you ain't gonna come up with new ideas. So if you ain't coming up with new ideas, then how the fuck you gonna be basically moving in life? So you gotta basically stick with that. Also, we got Venus opposing Jupiter. So cheating matters might come into play and shit. Feel me? You might feel the need to flirt or be guilty by association type shit. These energies can basically take shape and form and shit. Especially if you in a relationship and your partner is basically the partner you with does not see eye to eye with you. For me, they don't come home. They might come home late type shit. They may not be coming home at all. They might be going seeing somebody else or talking to somebody else. This can basically play a factor and shit. Especially if you ain't having balance and being resonating with them. So that can basically take shape and form. Also, we got Venus trine Neptune. So that's basically the way we our compassions and shit, the way we relate to other people, places, things is gonna basically not be in a selfish matter, but the way we go all out for our mates or someone we love and care about, it's basically up to part. Might feel the need to basically communicate and interact with people, especially help them out if they're going through any tough times right now. This is basically a chime right now. So this is what you might be receiving from people, places, and things randomly because universe works in mysterious ways. So mysteriously, people can come up to you and talk to you out of the blue. For me, don't be naive. For me, because information is key. And today is Friday, so of course the way we relate and have companionship with other people, places, things, we don't want to pass up on that. Also, we got Venus squared Chiron. So this is a learning process right now. So basically, of course, like things that happened in the past, hidden traumas and shit like that, that might come into play. Of course, as you can see, Mega the Stallion, she made a video about Tory Lane shooting her in the leg. So of course, that can be an issue. That can be another reason as to what can go on, or basically past relationship issues might pop up. Ex might pop up and shit, or somebody might remind you of your ex type shit, and it just might bring frustration and hidden traumas to you and shit, which can also play out to PTSD and all kind of shit right now. So basically, you want to be very aware of that shit and not make sure you meditate and make sure you ain't going out there with too much shit on your mind, because this shit can make it break you. For me, a lot of people don't wake up after they go to sleep with a whole lot of shit on their heart. So you want to basically make sure you in the right state of vibe and the right frequency, vibration, energy before you go out there and play these natures. Also, we got Jupiter trine Uranus. So this basically dealing with uniqueness, vision, spirituality, and shit in the world. So of course, this be very aware of shit, because a whole lot of fake ass people gonna be trying to come up here and talk about their way of seeing the world and shit, and this and that and shit. And also these fake ass theologians and also these QAnon or whatever, anything that's basically telling you about what's going on out here, don't believe it until you get your spectrum of the way of seeing things overall. It's one thing to take information from somebody, but if you're not looking at it and if it don't play on your everyday life, or if you ain't see a part of it taking a representation, then don't believe in it. Don't believe in it at all, because that's another magic square that you want to trap yourself into, because a whole lot of shit going on out here. So you got to be very alerted about that shit too. Also, Jupiter conjunct Pluto. So this is unfolding our own natural spirituality and basically self ambitions. So when we do this, we can manifest pretty much about anything in this life. So this is a good time to basically utilize that into your perfection and your needs. So of course, when we dealing with Venus in the first house, you're gonna be relating to ways of joy, pleasure, and pretty much other people, places, things gonna be reaching out to you for pleasures and desires and shit. X might pop up or a circumstance situation might take shape or form. But that's pretty much how it's gonna play out. In second house, this is you're gonna be relating to and having values with wealth, business, money, growth, values, things that you value in life. This is what you're gonna react and respond to. You got the Venus in your third house. This is gonna basically be inner affection with your surroundings and locations. You're gonna want to feel the need to go outside, go for a walk, go to dinner, go somewhere with links and drinks with your friends, your siblings, or somebody that you're close to. Because you know you can't trap air. Air got to get out there. So of course this is how it's gonna play out. When you got Venus in your fourth house and the effect, this is basically gonna be expressing your life matters and shit for me. Try not to try not to get too deeply rooted, because you know this is a learning process right here. So you want to put yourself in a circumstance situation. You might give your all. You might fuck around, get somebody pregnant type shit during this phase. So be very careful on how you act out in these natures. Fifth house is basically dealing with passion, creativity, and being open and shit. So for me, try to learn how to share the ball. Don't be too passionate. Motherfuckers might look at you like, wait, hold on, what's going on now? You ain't sharing the rock. If you got Venus in your sixth house, it's basically dealing with being roots, having roots, being grounded, and dealing with day-to-day works as far as what you need to be working on, things that you value in life, things that you like to do, things like if something gotta basically bring nourishment and care into your heart. But of course, you know Venus falls in sixth house or falls in Virgo in general. So, feel me, you're gonna feel the need to basically make sure you in the right state of being so shit can go into your way. Seventh house is basically dealing with state stability, being trustworthy with other people, places, and things. Also, being dependable on somebody that connects with you on a deeply matter. So this is a good opportunity right here for me. Things is good natures right here. So for me, this is a new moon process, but it's gonna take time for shit to basically get into practicality and stability, and for you to open up. Also, eighth house is basically dealing with transformation, marriages, and ups and downs, depending on your state of being, your state of awareness. If you're in good natures, things gonna play out. But if you're in bad natures and this new moon, shit gonna be a little lopsided. But basically, don't give up, stay focused and shit, and basically be consistent. Ninth house, if you got Venus in the ninth house, you can basically dealing with opposing energies. You're gonna feel the need to basically want to be free, have freedom, and not being limited, and basically not being too like caged in and contained. Because you know motherfuckers need to get up out of here. Like, I need my space. Like, why the fuck you trying to trap me for? Are you fucking crazy? You know who the fuck I am. For me, these are the energies that you're gonna be dealing with. Also, if you got Venus in the 10th house, basically you're gonna be dealing with a bench, being ambitious, having self control, having maturity and shit. You're gonna be want to relate to people, places, and things of that nature. Especially if you either single, if you're in a relationship, you're gonna basically be wanting that out of somebody and shit. 11th house, basically this is dealing with being a service to somebody, and for me, and money, marriages, power and control. For me, it's gonna be a whole lot of openness and a whole lot of marriage shit going on. You might have two wives type shit, so you might be open to a whole lot of aspects and opportunities. Or might be on your way to a baby mama or another wife type shit, or many marriages or many relationships. For me, like learn how to control yourself type shit. For me, but stars never lie. Also, now 12th house is basically relating to people, places, things, foreign, or somebody that's basically match your frequency, vibration, energy, which they can basically hold, like pretty much look at you relating to your values in a belief way. And this is a trying too for the 12th house energy. So this is a good opportunity right here to take shape and form for everything to play out. Now, when we get into Venus, into the zodiac signs, for me, this is basically relating to how these zodiac signs is gonna basically be acting out in these natures for me. And remember, it's still a new moon, so shit is gonna take time for shit to play out. But when we got Venus and Aries, this is basically dealing with you're gonna want to feel the need to basically be empowered. You're gonna be relating to values of relating to being more in control, being more horny, basically being more direct about circumstances, situations, relating to people, places, things that uphold your frequency vibration. And also, that's dealing with the fire element. Fire element. So, of course, you know what you need to do. And be aware of this shit too, but don't be too overburdened because you might feel the need to basically, they might look at you like, yo, this person's being too power and control or being manipulative or be a sex demon at this time. Be careful of that. If you got a moon in Aries, you're gonna be attracting these people towards you as far as people, places, things trying to control you or try to want to fuck shit out of you or bring you flowers and be there for you type shit. Be aware of this shit. Now, if you got Aries and Taurus, you're gonna basically dealing with enviness, judgment. You're gonna want to basically be in a. You're gonna be wanting people, places, and things to like love and appreciate you and shit. To like tell you, oh, you say you love me, feel me, and you know, Venus and Taurus don't really mix like that. As far as like with Libra and Taurus don't really mix in that stage. It's kind of like a forehead, but you know, it's still it's dealing with one side. It's for me, Venus is basically Venus and Libra is dealing with like love, appreciation, companionship, and that nature. And Venus and Taurus is basically dealing with materialistic things. So of course you're gonna feel the need to basically receive materialistic values and shit, money from your mate and type shit. So or you're gonna want this from somebody. And if your moon is in Taurus, you're gonna be attracting people, places, and things that want you to basically give them this or basically bring this to your attention type shit. So be aware of these motherfuckers. For me, if they ain't doing the same with you, then you know what's going on, and it's a new moon. So be careful with this. Now, if you got Venus and Gemini, you're gonna be open to a whole lot of opportunities of communication with flirting, being open, being curious, being playful. This talks about a whole lot of marriages and shit, a whole lot of relationships. So of course, you might want to feel that you might be open to that. That's if you're like single or if somebody not matching your vibe and shit. And communication is key when we got Venus and fucking Gemini. Because if the communication not there, then boom, you're gonna want to feel the need to basically go on a date with somebody or just cheat type shit. So and if you got Moon and Gemini, you're gonna be receiving this energy from other people, places, and things, or other friends and shit. Or you're gonna be basically attracting this. Now, if um, you got Venus and Cancer, what you need to, this is a square right here. So ego and personality and being more open and basically not being too stuck in the nest is what you're gonna want to feel the need to do. Feel me? Feel me? And feel me? Not every female out there is the same. You just gotta find the right female. You, of course, if you're a Cancer and if you into astrology, you gotta find your seventh house. Find somebody that match your vibe. This way, you're not putting yourself in a circumstance situation where you might get up into a relationships and things don't play out in that nature. If you got a moon in Cancer, you're gonna be attracting people that's gonna want to feel the need to basically test the waters, or they might take their time with you, or feel me. That's how that play out because they're gonna be new. They new to everything, but they're very very sensitive in their own way of doing it. Now, if you're dealing with Venus and Leo, you're basically gonna want to demand attention, demand romance, demands all kind of shit. Feel me? You're gonna want to feel the need to basically try things in your way of doing it, but the person that's you with or people, places, and things around you, or that's going out there, they might want to feel the need to do something new, but you may not want to basically do that. You may be like, yo, it's this or that. I pay for this, that's this and that. So it might be a little circumstance, situation, argument. Things might get out of control. If you got Moon and Leo, you're gonna be attracting people, places, and things that basically try to like control you or overburden you and shit, and basically not share the rock type shit. So be aware of this shit too. Also, when you got Venus and Virgo, you're gonna feel the need to basically be working on day to day routines as far as being perfect, trying to fix things, and expectations and shit. But be aware of guilt and anxiety and shit. And everything ain't gotta be fixed. For me, as long as you fix with yourself, and you can basically relate this to other people, places, and things to be unique in your own way. Things don't really gotta be overburdened. For me, you gotta be too open and shit. But it's when you got a Venus and Gemini, when you got Venus and Virgo, it's all about practicality, being stable, and being daily routine and shit. So that's what it's dealing with. That's dealing with more down to earth type shit. So more grounding and shit. For me, being more responsible and shit. So also, if you got a moon in Virgo, you're gonna be expecting this shit from other people, places, and things. Feel me? Learn how to be perfect and shit. Learn how to up the stage, up the ball game and shit, and basically act out on certain natures. If you got Venus and you got Venus and Libra, you're gonna basically be more loving, more caring, more balanced and shit. You might want to feel the need to try a new sex position with your partner type shit. And also you're gonna feel the need to basically want to be more open and go out somewhere and be more somewhere peaceful and more relaxing and shit. Try to like make sure you got balance within yourself, because for me, other people, places, and things might feel it as you might just be too overburdenly and shit. And also, if you got a moon in Libra, you're gonna be receiving this energy from people, places, and things that's basically trying to like have balance and basically take control and just do things in more partnership type shit. So be aware of this shit too. Also, when you got Venus and Sagittarius, this is basically dealing with deep emotional balance and shit. And this is basically dealing with deep emotional balance. And I mean, if you got, I'm bugging. If you got Venus and Scorpio, this is basically dealing with deep emotional balance. And this, so you're gonna be feeling need to get more deep into your feelings and emotions with your mate, and try to like have balance with this shit. So it can basically try to like be in a more harmonious nature, because you know Venus falls in Scorpio. Because for me, depending on, because you know the love natures is different. Venus don't like to deal with all that deep drama and shit. For me, Venus don't love drama. Period. So of course it's gonna be a whole lot of shit to be working on as far as the learning aspect with this Venus and Scorpio. So you're gonna be feeling this energy, because Venus don't really get along with Scorpio, Aries, in Taurus like that. So it's gonna kind of take its time for things to basically get the reminiscent and shape and the form. But this new moon, so it's gonna be a whole lot of deep healing. Make sure you meditate. Make sure you go within yourself. Make sure you express yourself in a harmonious nature. And if you got a Venus in your moon, I mean, if you got a moon in Scorpio, then basically you're gonna be receiving energies from people, places, and things that's gonna try to like be more dark, more hidden, and try to be more deep emotional with you and shit, and have self-expression with you, feel me, and try to like have balance. Or they might just try to hide things from you type shit, or you might just basically find hidden traumas, or you might feel the need to basically have secrets and just not express them and shit type shit, keep them shits hidden. You got Venus and Sagittarius basically dealing with being more stable, being more close, and basically that's what you're gonna basically be wanting from people, places, and things to basically relate to you in a way of basically experiences, and basically being more open and prone to things that's gonna basically put them in the aspect of them relating to you. And if you can't match that, then you're gonna feel the need. But you know, Sagittarius don't like being trapped. For me, they want to be free, and they want to express themselves. When you try to trap them and shit, they try to run and get away from me, and they're not really dealing with that type kind of natures and shit. So you're gonna basically, you need to watch out for this shit too. And it's a new moon, so if your moon is in Sagittarius, you're gonna basically be receiving this kind of energy and attracting this energy from people, places, and things that's basically trying to get away from you and shit like that, and not relating to you and type shit for me, and not trying to be too contained with you and shit, or basically being more, for me, it's gonna be like a low, it's gonna be a little buzz going on here in between, because you know Venus like to have balance in between. So if it ain't a balance for us just basically being together all the time, there's something not right for me. Also, we got, when you got Venus in the 10th house, I mean, you got Venus in Capricorn, this basically you're gonna be reacting, responding, and relating to people, places, and things, commitment, successfulness, and being relating to people, places, and things that's more mature on your level, that's want to get down to business. For me, they don't really, Capricorn don't really get too deeply rooted with the relationship unless somebody match their vibe and shit, and they're working together as far as dealing with work and being more practical, and being more stable, and having more structure and stability and shit. So it's gonna be kind of hard, but if they can relate to you in a way, shape, or form, then it'll work out. But if not, then things may not go as well. It may be haywire. And if you got the moon in Capricorn, you're gonna be receiving this kind of energy from people, places, and things that's basically getting straight down to business, and basically being more open and more outgoing type shit. Also, when you got Venus in your 11th house, it's basically dealing with social outlets and shit, many marriages, cheating can take a shape and form. So you're gonna feel the need to basically, once it, this basically talks about a whole lot of marriages and a whole lot of openness and shit. And this is a trine right here. So if you are single and you're single, then you can. This is gonna be an aspect of you basically getting a relationship with somebody and shit. Feel me? But it's remember, shit change up, so shit switches up. So it's one day you'll be feeling this way, one day you'll be feeling the next day. So just be aware of that. And if you got a moon in Aquarius, you're gonna be receiving aspects from other people, places, things, like your ex or somebody might hit you back up, or you might just be hearing a whole lot of shit about Aquarius. Motherfuckers be talking about Aquarius, period, type shit. So be aware of that shit. You will see that shit on the line too. And of course, last but not least, we got motherfucking Pisces. If you got Venus and Pisces, it's basically dealing with compassion, being sensitive, being more dreamy and more open and shit. So of course, you're gonna be relating and reacting, responding to people, places, and things that see you in their best interest and shit. And also, this can also play a shape and form as, of course, of you wanting to ground your ideas and get with somebody that's see you in their truest natures, and basically being more grounded, being more lopsided and shit like that. So you're gonna be reacting, responding to this, and of course, this could be shadiness, a lot of trust issues going on and shit, a lot of hidden traumas and shit. You're gonna be reacting, responding to that, and of course, if you got a moon in Pisces, you're gonna be receiving this energy from people, places, and things. That's like testing the waters also with you and being more sensitive towards taking things serious or trying new things out. So basically, these are the energies of today and tomorrow and so on. So everybody act out in these natures. Feel me? Don't be shy, and everything will play out. Love y'all.